Is that it? Is that all you're going to ask me? Well, I got a couple of thousand goddamn questions, you know? I want to speak to someone in charge. I want to lodge a complaint. You have no right to make people crazy. You think I investigate every Walter Cronkite story there is? Huh? If this is just nerve gas, how come I know everything in such detail? I've never been here before. How come I know so much? What the hell is going on around here? Who the hell are you people?
Welcome to the Perfect Movie Podcast, a podcast where we answer the question, is this a perfect movie? I'm Kalen.
I'm Michael.
Today we are doing Close Encounters with the Third Kind, another Steven Spielberg joint.
Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg. Yeah, this is a classic film. Michael, what did you think of Close Encounters with the Third Kind?
It is a classic film. It's a film I've seen a lot. I think I watched it early days when I was like a teen and I was trying to find all the Alien. You know, I watched this, I watched Contact, I watched The Day the Earth Stood Still. I was like getting through all the Alien stuff at some point. Watched it again for the podcast. I'd watched it recently. It is just I love the pacing of this movie. It's probably a little slower for people that got, TikTok brain. But I maybe I'm a 70s movie guy because I just appreciate how this movie builds.
Yeah.
And that you don't really know where it's going to build because it's not your typical, I don't know, it's not like really a UFO invasion movie, but it's not your typical UFO movie.
Right.
In a lot of ways. So I love it. I love Richard Dreyfuss in this early Spielberg days. His energy is really fun as the star. Fun fact, Steven Spielberg was like, I got a blank check basically after Jaws. I just made the biggest movie ever, so I got to do whatever I want. But the biggest fight I had was getting this title because nobody knew what it meant.
Yeah.
Which is interesting in how and maybe just because we were also, I think, both at some point alien encounter enthusiasts or UFO enthusiasts. So maybe we know the concept of a close encounter of the third kind is a direct contact with an alien, but your average person wouldn't know that.
Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind is abduction, I believe.
So it's just it's interesting how that's permeated culture, and I feel like your average person today would probably know. At least they would know that's an alien movie. Close Encounter of the Third Kind has something to do with aliens.
Yeah.
Right?
And I want to say it's probably the most realistic depiction as far as actual alleged encounters with aliens or UFOs. I'm a big UFO guy. I'm very into everything that's kind of going on in recent times with David Grush and all these whistleblowers that are coming out and talking about this stuff. It's a real phenomenon, I think, and there's definitely something to it. And actually, I think Spielberg took a lot of inspiration from actual real life accounts, like the Betty and Barney Hill abduction case, Roswell, obviously, which is the big one. There's a lot of direct inspiration from alleged real life events in this film, and I think it translates very well. And it looks great to this day. And,
I'm forgetting the name of the author or the book, so not super helpful. But there was some UFO expert that had been his government job was researching and debunking UFO incidents. And he was 98% of them or whatever, easily debunkable and explained. And then he eventually, I think, quit his job at the government, wrote a book, and was all interested in the 2% he couldn't explain. And Steven Spielberg had recently read that book as he was writing.
Okay.
So yes, it was very much informed by real cases. And the movie opens. Well, actually, before I talk about it, shall we get into the performance test?
Let's do it.
It was the performance of a lifetime.
And the movie opens with like maybe the most famous Bermuda Triangle, a reference to the most famous Bermuda Triangle story, which is this like, I think it's slightly post-war, or maybe was it during World War II? I'm forgetting.
I believe it was either World War II or like the Korean War or something along the lines of that.
Yeah, it was either just post World War II or during the World War II. There was a squadron doing like test flights off the coast of Florida.
Yeah,
it's called Flight 19. And the whole squadron just kind of disappeared off the face of the earth after, I think radioing back a couple times about like strange clouds and their instruments going haywire.
Yeah,
and not
I think they were seeing lights and all types of stuff.
And not being able to find their way back. And then in this movie, we go to like Tanzania or somewhere in the blistering desert where all of a sudden all these old World War II flyers have shown
There's
up.
Like a giant like battleship in like the middle of the desert and stuff. Yeah.
And this is like, I feel like this is Spielberg like prepping for getting into Indiana Jones, because we're like getting the start of the world hopping adventures.
Yeah.
Here. And we have our expert, played by Francois Truffaut, who is a French director, and he's like the main guy kind of researching and leading this like contact mission as they're trying to figure out what's going on with this pattern of UFOs that seems to be escalating.
Yeah.
And just a great opening scene, and then that cuts into the air traffic controller scene, which is another just like less is more scene where we never see what is happening. We just meet some very serious man running the radar and at like the air traffic control center, talking to this airliner that's like, I don't know, I have traffic coming at me fast.
Yeah.
These lights are really bright, and we only just hear the radio burst from this near collision that this airplane has with a UFO. And I think it's just, Jaws, less is more until we get there.
Right. Until we get the giant mothership.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Stand by one. Okay, Center. Aries 31, the traffic is turned. He's heading right for my windshield. We're turning right immediately and leaving flight level 350 now.
Aries 31, descend and maintain flight level 310. Great. Allegheny 444, turn right 30 degrees.
Get on the heart of the 45th recon wing. See what the hell they could be testing up there.
An Aries jet descending to
This
maintain
is Indianapolis Center. Do you have any test operations restricted area 2508?
Aries 31, roger. Traffic is quite luminous and is exhibiting some non-ballistic motion, over.
Roger, Aries 31. Continue descent at your discretion, over.
Okay, Center. Center pilot's discretion is approved. The traffic is approaching head-on, ultra bright, and really moving. And right by us, right now. That was really close. Aries 31 is out of 340 on the traffic path.
Ask them if they want to report officially.
EWA 517, do you want to report a UFO, over? EWA 517, do you want to report a UFO, over?
Negative. We don't want to report.
And then you have Richard Dreyfuss, which is our main character, and he's great in this movie. He has to play a lot of different like types of character in this, and it's great to see him kind of descend into madness a little bit.
I love his home life. I love the kids that are just banging on shit.
It's so fucking chaotic. Like, Jesus.
There's like, we meet him and one of the boys is like talking to him while he's trying to brush his teeth, and he like spins around as he's all foaming at the mouth and just goes
yeah,
and chases him off as the kid screams.
Or like the wife is like sitting there repeating something to him, and he's so like detached from reality that he's just staring at the TV, and his wife is yelling at him and stuff. And yeah, it's great. I could not live that life, but go for it, dog. Yeah, he is like he's the catalyst in this film, and he is the one that it was chosen basically by higher intelligence to go to, is it Devil's Peak or something like that. He just keeps seeing, like, he's after his first initial UFO encounter, he keeps getting like visions and like something telling him to like something about like some kind of mountain, and he keeps building like mountains out of like mashed potatoes or like anything. He just sees that image everywhere he goes, and which culminates to him basically going crazy, and his family leaves him, and then he goes on this kind of adventure to like figure out everything, and he realizes there's a lot more people like him that have been drawn to this particular place. And yeah.
Yeah, I really love the first encounter. So I think he works. I forget. He's like an
Oh,
electric
so great.
company
Yeah.
or the phone company or something, and things are going haywire because these UFOs are around.
Yeah.
And he's sent out to go fix something, and so he's driving his truck, and he's parked, and he's like looking at his map, trying to figure out where he's going.
Yeah.
And some lights pull up behind him, and he waves them around because he's just idling, waiting to figure out where he needs to go. And then another set of lights waves around, and he waves it around. And they go up.
This time it goes up. That's such a freaky fucking image. Like, holy shit. Yeah.
And he doesn't notice it, but then, like, the radio shuts off, all the lights shut off, and he starts hearing a banging, and he turns on, he, like, tries to get his flashlight to turn on, and he points it, and, like, there's the row of, like, mailboxes that you have on the side of, like, a rural road for the various houses, and they're just, like, rocking back and forth,
Yeah.
bang, 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 bang.
And then boom, like a spotlight of light just appears over him, and that would be such a terrifying situation to be in.
And the gravity starts going crazy inside of his, like, all the metal stuff starts clanging up against the back window, and everything starts kind of falling sideways at him.
Yeah, it was interesting. And then it's like at the end, he's like half his face is like sunburnt or whatever. Yeah, great scene. Probably one of the best scenes of the movie.
And then that is quickly followed up by our Barry's first visit, when Barry's the little boy, and he just wakes up and all his like little electronic toys are just moving around the room.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I guess off screen they called him One Take. His name was Carrie, the actor's name. He called him One Take Carrie because they got all his scenes in like 1 or 2 takes.
Nice.
And they gave him a little T-shirt that said One Take Carrie at the end of the production.
That's pretty sweet.
And I mean, it's not like he's no Haley Joel Osment, but he does like really adorable.
Yeah.
And the cheerful enthusiasm with which he like encounters these aliens is so endearing and such a twist on what you're expecting from an alien movie.
Right. And it's like he's got that so this is one of my mom's favorite movies, and I've watched this with her, and me and her always loved that scene where with the farmhouse and stuff, and we loved when we always used to like repeat, they're coming through the back door. We used to say that all the time. It's just a classic scene.
Yeah, it is. They're coming through the back door. I think is that the second visit when his mom is awake in there.
Oh yeah, that's when that shit actually goes down.
That's when shit really goes down. The first visit, all we see is Barry looking excitedly at clearly somebody had come through the front door, some entity had come through the front door, and he's just staring at it.
And then she finds him outside.
Yeah, and the kidnapping scene though, when we flash forward to that is like, and it's kind of less is more. It's a lot of just lights shining through windows,
some fog here and there. Yeah.
But let me name the actress. Terry Garr. Oh, Terry is the name of the character. Ronnie Neary is the actress, I believe.
Melinda Dillon is his mom.
And she is kind of the co-lead of the second half of the movie as she's trying to find Barry, who gets kidnapped when they return. And she just really sells that. I mean, it's terrifying. The red lights through the windows, like the puffs of smoke as like they're coming through the vents. That shot where like the screws are slowly unscrewing from the vent under her floor is just like, they're coming to get us and we can't stop them.
There's nothing scarier than like the fear of the unknown and like what am I dealing with, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. You know, there's nothing scarier than that, and I find that kind of stuff a lot more effective than like the ghosty stuff. You know what I mean? I just think that's just such a terrifying. If you really put yourself in those characters' shoes, it's such a terrifying thing.
What's something scary enough to scare away every God-fearing citizen in that place?
What is that?
That's when the generals, because they're trying to evacuate everyone from the area around Devil's Peak, the government officials, and then they do the hoax of that there was some sort of gas leak from a train.
Yeah.
And there's all this hysteria, and all the people that are drawn to Devil's Peak are going there. So like Barry's mom and Richard Dreyfuss are headed the opposite way of all the panic.
Right.
And I love the man that's like selling canaries.
Yeah, because that's like an indicator that the air is not safe or whatever, right? That's why they carry canaries.
Yeah. The canary in the coal mine is like, so if they hit a gas mine, the canary will die before the people start are incapacitated by the gas and can't leave. So it's the same idea. I just love how chaotic everything is around the upheaval there. And then we really just get to the final scene, which goes on for like 30 minutes. The song and dance of the UFO arrival is just such a you hear UFO movie and you expect something that is a lot more sinister than what we get. This is a pretty positive outlook on what our first contact could be like.
Yeah And it's like, maybe that's wishful thinking, but also it's like, I don't know. It's like you were saying, it's a different take, and so it's appreciated, because these things are like benevolent or whatever. You don't get that a lot. Now it's like, what I'm thinking of, like A Quiet Place, where they're just like raging fucking monsters and they want to kill you. You know what I mean?
Should we move along to It's an Art Bro, where we talk about the effects and music and...
Now I remember.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I loved some of the supporting characters, just some of the background people. You get your, like, your farmer guy who's, I saw a UFO kind of thing. Or he was like, I heard Bigfoot once.
Oh, yeah.
It was a sound I never want to hear again.
I do love the big, like, government meeting where they, like, bring all the people that had seen the UFOs together at the big round table, and all the press is there. And then he shows us the picture, and he's like, this is a UFO. And they're like, we seen it. That's what we saw. And then he, like, holds up a dinner plate that I threw this afternoon. This is a flying saucer.
I just love that because people like that are real,
Yeah. Like Richard Dreyfuss is sitting there and like frazzled but trying to be credible. And then across the table, there's a man like, I saw Bigfoot 2 in 1952.
It was a sound I never want to hear again.
I live in a van down by the river.
Yeah, let's move on to It's an Art.
What's this?
It's an art project.
Okay, I like it. Picasso. Yeah, that way.
This movie looks really good for the time. A lot of practical effects, all practical effects, really. A lot of miniatures that look great. The aliens look so funny at the end. They're just hilarious looking. Especially when you get the little ones kind of walking out. It's just a bunch of like little people in costumes. It looks hilarious.
I think it's literally like a bunch of 6-year-olds, and you can tell.
Yeah. It looks great. It looked great to me, though.
And then we get
I loved it.
The stop motion shot of like the long guy.
Yeah, and he's just like, hey, give me a hug, baby.
Yeah, I wrote down that the UFO models are like my cinematic heroine because they're so good. They're so well designed. I love the little ones that are just like joyriding and buzzing everyone.
Right.
I love just the concept of the end where it becomes this like musical ballet where so they've discovered that mathematically they keep hearing these tones when they visit India. There's like a whole crowd singing the ba da 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 da.
Yeah.
Barry plays it on his little xylophone at home.
Yeah.
These images and these sounds are like infected in the people's minds that have come into contact. And then they realize like music is also math. Maybe this is the way we can communicate with them. So what happens at the end is we get like a little, jazz band scenario kind of where they start playing the tones back at each other. We have a man at this keyboard with these big things, and they start just playing the simple notes.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum. And I love the sound when the big ship responds, the da da da, and then it's like brown note, just
yeah. And then it goes and everybody just starts dancing.
And the little light squares show up on the floor. And it turns into Saturday Night Fever.
I would have loved that ending too. That would have been great.
That long-armed alien could really,
get busy. Bro. He'll be looking like what's his face from Pulp Fiction. I really loved the Jeep or the car scene, the truck scene, the first UFO encounter that Richard Dreyfuss has. It looks really great. Like I was saying, probably one of the best scenes in the movie. Great sets. His house is so chaotic, but it looks so real, and I loved it.
I didn't mention the scene, but maybe the best scene in the movie is when he wakes up and he's shoveling dirt through his kitchen window.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And he just has this total meltdown in the presence of the entire neighborhood.
Yeah, everybody's outside watching him. But
He's
he
like
just don't
robbing
give a
chicken
shit.
wire from his neighbor and shoveling it because he just needs to build the Devil's Peak and he needs all the raw materials. And I love at the end of the scene, after his family's packed up and abandoned him because he's freaking everyone out.
Yeah.
As he like grabs the stepladder, he goes up the stepladder, dives into his kitchen window, and then grabs it back up and shuts the window on everyone.
Yeah, just so chaotic.
Oh, Roy!
Come on, man.
Dad, after this, can we throw dirt in my window?
Stop it.
Ronnie, if I don't do this, that's when I'm gonna need a doctor.
Do it. What are you doing?
I got it.
What are you doing?
I figured it out. That's all. Will you just listen?
No.
Ronnie, look. You ever look at something when it's crazy and then you look at it in another way and it's not crazy at
No,
all?
I haven't. No.
Come on, Ronnie. Just listen.
I don't know what
If
you're
you just
doing.
close your eyes for 5 minutes, close your eyes and hold your breath.
No.
Everything will be really pretty.
Roy, you're scaring us now.
Don't be scared. Just don't be scared.
We talked about lens flares. That lens flare central is at the round table.
Oh, yeah. How the fuck do you see in there?
All the like lights from all the media, you're just getting glare from everywhere.
The music is great. Who do you think I'm going to say did the music?
John Stamos.
Yes. John Williams, back again. He's just like Spielberg's go-to guy. We've said a lot about him already. Kills it every single time.
I mean, the 5 notes, so famous.
Yeah.
The rest of this soundtrack is great. Fun fact is the movie was cut to the soundtrack and not vice versa, so they had like rough cut of the movie and then the soundtrack was given and then he cut it down.
Yeah.
Based on the soundtrack, which I think really shows especially in the final scene, because the music seems to really be driving the like cuts and pacing of all the shots. And since the music is literally the way these two worlds are communicating, it's a really, form and function come together.
Steven Spielberg is like responsible for some of the greatest sounds in cinema.
Yeah.
There's so many iconic sounds. It's like the T-Rex roar, and then you got the whole score for that, and then the Jaws theme. Yeah. It's great. Shall we move along?
I just have a question. So at the end, but where did the massive UFO come behind Devil's Peak? Because it's kind of a jump scare.
I have no idea. That thing wasn't very practical either. It was like floating city.
I do love the design of it.
Yeah, it looks great.
How massive it is. Like, it's bigger than anything else we've been.
I mean, it harkens to like real life encounters, though. People have said they've seen like things the size of football fields in the sky. Like, that is an incredible sight. How is that? I don't know. How is that a real thing? Who knows? There's a great story about the military was retrieving a missile from the ocean that they had done a test on, and it was floating in the water, and so a helicopter comes with a guy that comes down on a rope, and he's like gonna tether it, and then they said this thing the size of an island, a small island, just like rose up from the depths of the ocean, snatched the missile, and went back down. Like, and this is like an actual government document basically about this story. It's crazy stuff, man. I don't know. That's all I'm going to say about that. If we want to get into like, hey, what are you trying to say? Some of this UFO stuff is crazy, and it's interesting.
Can I tell a skeptic side of a
Sure.
different story? Do you remember and this is one of the dumber ones, so like no wonder it got debunked, but do you remember the mass hysteria around, I think it was like 2 years ago, there was like, why are all these police showing up to this Orlando mall?
Oh, that bullshit.
And why is there such a panic?
Yeah.
And then people were looking at some video, some very pixelated video from like a chopper above.
Yeah.
That seemed to show some like massive shadow walking across
Right.
Basically, I saw some people do some enhancing, and it's just like 3 cops walking side by side by side.
Yeah, that whole thing, people freaked out about that. I was like, that's obviously some bullshit. Like, come on.
Yeah.
There's some stuff though, man, that it's just like, I mean, I've seen things like me and my fiance, we saw something in broad daylight that we can't explain. Super bizarre. I think I talked about this story on a different episode. But I'm a firm believer that there is something out there, and not saying it's aliens. I think our perception of aliens has kind of changed a little bit. I don't think what we're seeing is aliens. I think it could be something totally more bizarre than that we just can't comprehend right now. You know, just because of our limited human brains, I don't think we are so like tainted as far as like our perception of things. We think of things as a human would think of it, and how we would try to explain it. But something from elsewhere probably behaves in a totally different way. These things could be biological, you know, they could be animals. We just, you know, I don't know. There's many theories to it. I just think it's a very interesting subject.
That's known as the Nope theory.
Yeah. That was like one of the most interesting UFO films as well, as far as like how they portrayed that life form. It was just bizarre, and I think it was like there's definitely theories to that as well, you know.
I mean, the most convincing stuff I've seen is those famous ones, like I do love the one where
it rotates.
The pill, the pill
tic-tac,
one,
yeah.
where there's the guy that is you can hear the guy that's doing the targeting in the back of the thing go like, I got it, and he gets the track on it, and you can see it's flying at like, I don't know, like 600 kilometers per hour or whatever.
It's going
and then
fast.
it just
Yeah.
And then it just disappears. So it's like, how fast is that going? What could possibly do that?
Or the one that kind of correlates to Bob Lazar's story, where it's like he said these things would rotate before they took off, and they literally got it on video doing the exact same thing. Yeah.
Bob Lazar, known guest of the Joe Rogan podcast.
We're going to try to get him on soon, though.
Noted Area 51 whistleblower.
Yeah. The UFO topic it's so cemented in our culture, and it goes back centuries. This people seeing stuff in the sky, and they have no explanation for it.
Ancient astronaut theorists.
Ancient astronaut theorists theorize. Aliens, obviously. No, but it's like there's like stories in the Bible of obviously it's like a more primitive person is going to see something in the sky and try to explain it a little bit the best they can. So in the Bible, it talks about somebody seeing a wheel of fire in the sky, something circular that's bright, basically. Yeah. And so they interpret it the best they can. It's interesting stuff, man. I don't know. I don't want to go too into it. This isn't Podcast Declassified.
This isn't, yeah. our stuck in
podcast purgatory.
Yeah, our purgatory podcast. Stuck in development. Maybe in 20 years we'll release it. Like,
yeah.
Maybe when I die, you can do Podcast Declassified.
Maybe when the aliens actually come, that's when we'll do it. Yeah, but then I think there's also like there's more to this movie than just aliens as well.
No, so we should get into those concepts when we say, "Hey, what are you trying to say?"
Take it away whenever you're ready.
All right, let me just get that last measurement on your
Thank you. You know, I need this for the wedding.
Okay, well,
I need it really quickly. Like
it could take about a week to do.
It could take a week.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are you trying to say? He's trying to say that I'm so big, my bum is so big, you need to order to various countries far away to get enough material to make a pair of pants so I can fit my incredibly obese buttocks into a pair of your specially made little suits.
No, I mean I'm the only one working here this week.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that would be great.
Mm-hmm. Abandon your kids, chase your dreams.
Yeah, I think that's like that's what Robin Williams should have did in Hook.
Yeah,
you know, he should have just become Pan and forgot about those fucking assholes. Why are every kid in every Spielberg movie, they're just all assholes? They're all terrible.
I think this comes from, and he's spoken on this, his dad stepped out of his life I guess, an honorable way in his mind to allow his mother to remarry or whatever. And that, like, when he left, Spielberg resented him a lot. And maybe he got the impression that his dad just didn't care much about him. Like, if he could do that, maybe he just was sick of him anyways.
Yeah.
So it feels like this is some, like, internalized, like, kids are obnoxious and I hate them.
Right. Which kids were Steven Spielberg kids or Stephen King kids?
So Steven Spielberg kids are worse to their parents. Stephen King kids, like, never are in their parents' home.
And they're all, like, psychopathic.
Yeah.
Bloodthirsty children.
And the bullies will murder you.
Yeah, I think that was a good point where you're saying, like, drop everything and chase your dreams. That could be a good or a bad thing, depending on the situation. I didn't really get too much more out of this film other than aliens, and there could be more out there than we realize. And yeah,
I do. So in our very first episode, I had put out this theory that Steven Spielberg is the combo of commerce and art, perfect American filmmaker, and that is summed up in the one scene where all the military guards go undercover and he covers them up with corporate sponsors. So it's like, drive the Coca-Cola truck, drive the Wonder Bread truck.
Right. I also, I kind of want to get into some gripes about this film because I think upon this last viewing, it didn't hit as much for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say if we don't have anything else to say, let's move on.
Let's let the hate flow through you.
Good. Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you.
Yeah, I just think some of the magic of this movie is kind of gone for me. I think upon repeated viewings, I've just kind of, I don't know, and that's more of a personal kind of thing, but I just don't think it hits as hard as it used to as far as like the awe factor. And I think that's really all this movie has going for it is like the awe factor aspect. Not saying that it doesn't like the work put into this movie didn't pay off. I think it still looks wonderful. Yeah, there's just some kind of things that it just didn't really hit for me this last time watching it.
It's funny because I felt that way, not this time, but the time before that. And part of that, I think I had some technical issues that might have gotten in the way. This time, I don't know. The ending just works for me because it is so off the wall of a decision, and I do get that I get the Spielberg face at the end when they're all, especially when they're like, all right, we're going automatic, and he presses the button and the keyboard just starts playing themselves, and they're just playing the songs at each other, and the humans, like all that stuff works for me so much. Yeah, like when they first arrive, like that ending. They say in storytelling, go out with a bang while I'm at the beginning and the end. And you can get away with a lot of stuff in the middle. And to me, it still kind of wows at the end.
Yeah. Not to say it's not a good film. I thoroughly enjoy it every time I watch it. But I just feel like upon repeated viewings, I think the magic is kind of lost for me just a little bit. But again, that's like a personal thing. It's very long. And I think this is kind of something we've griped about all of Spielberg's films that we've watched. This special, I think it kind of stays its welcome just a little bit too long, and but obviously it's in service of the story, which I think that ending bit where it's like, oh yeah, aliens, let's all hug each other. I think that was just like a little too much, and then it's like you have that whole thing where they arrive, then you got the music thing, then you got them coming out, and then you have all the people coming out, like the actual humans coming out that were abducted in the past, and then you have people going back in and leaving with them. It was just like a little too much going on. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know if you watched the director's cut or the original?
I think I watched the original.
Was there a part where they showed the interior of the spaceship?
No,
okay.
I know
that is the director's cut, and it's funny because Spielberg wanted to do the director's cut, and I think that was like the one thing that was demanded of him, and he didn't want it. That's the one thing he disagrees with.
Interesting. He
never wanted the inside of the ship. He said that should belong to your imagination.
Yeah, and I agree. Yeah, for sure.
But like the suits were like, all right, if we're gonna give you this extra money to give you the extra 20 minutes or whatever you're gonna tack on here, you put in the inside of the spaceship.
Interesting.
So. I appreciate he's a reserved guy, not like reserved but like he knows where to draw the line.
For sure.
I don't really have a lot of complaints. Should we go to our final question?
Let's do it.
Is this a perfect movie?
He lost a baby brother. Perfect in every way.
I had a baby brother. I had a little baby brother. And he was perfect. Perfect in every way.
I would say yes. I think the aliens would appreciate it for sure.
Oh yeah, if we're still going under the theory that our perfect movie list is to give to the aliens.
Yeah.
This is a great example to give the aliens. We cannot give them like Mars Attacks,
War of the
Worlds.
Yeah. Battle LA.
Independence Day.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Oh, what was it? Skyfall?
Oh, God.
Is that one?
It was Skyline. Yeah.
Ooh.
That's when they just suck up like millions of people at a time. It was like a giant vacuum going over the city.
Name an alien movie. A Quiet Place.
Quiet Place 2.
A Quiet Place. Day 1, starring Lupita Nyong'o. She's got cancer.
She was sad. A lot.
Yeah. Guinness Book of World Records for most crying in a film.
I really like that film, actually. What other alien movies are there? Oh, that movie we talked about that was on Hulu with what's her face?
Yeah,
and she just did a lot of breathing.
I don't think it counts unless you can name the titles. Contact.
Oh, the most obvious alien movie, Alien. Aliens.
I feel like while that is an alien movie, it doesn't go in the aliens. Like alien invasion.
Yeah,
movie.
It's a different type of alien movie. Yeah.
I'm thinking more like Arrival.
Right. Arrival is a great film. I watched Alien Romulus the other day.
Was it good?
It was all right.
I'm gonna check it out.
I think it definitely faltered towards the end, and it was pretty much a remake of Alien. But which all alien movies are basically.
I do really like the actor that plays the android.
He's great. He's like the best character in the film. Very good. And then you got the Civil War girl in it. She plays the main character, which is basically just Ellen Ripley again.
It's the year of Kaylee Spaney.
Yeah. She's the new who was the hot star from Starlet from last year who played the Addams Family girl.
Oh, Jenna Ortega?
Jenna Ortega. She's like the new Jenna Ortega, basically.
She's in the biggest movie of this week, Beetlejuice.
Oh, God. Did that get good reviews? Oh, okay.
Kind of mid.
Anyways.
Middling reviews.
Close to the Cows of their kind of perfect movie? I would say yes. I think it's just cemented into pop culture and cinematic history. It's one of those ones where it's just you kind of got to watch it. It's one of Spielberg's best, for sure. It's such a massive movie. It's like it's an epic, they globe-trotting kind of adventure, and it's great. And if you like alien stuff, I would say you definitely got to check it out. If you love sci-fi, definitely one of the ones you got to put on your list.
And I think even if, like you said, you didn't enjoy it as much in this most recent version, I think it is one of those like touchstone movies that have changed movies ever since.
Yeah. For sure.
So, like, I think we did that with, like, Halloween, like, weird comparison, but, like, there's some movies that set a blueprint.
Right.
And are historically significant that way, and this one certainly is that.
Like the giant spacecraft. And then you have, like, Independence Day, where it's, like, all the spaceships are just giant, and they're, I don't know. There's a lot of that. I'm trying to think, is there a movie that's, like, Close Encounters, like, as far as, like, took this kind of route of like alien invasion, where it's like benevolent.
Well, I mean, Arrival's kind of like that.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to say Contact is kind of like that. I don't remember Contact that vividly.
Is with Silence of the Lamb lady.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, if you haven't seen Close Encounters, definitely recommend. Like I was saying, it's one of those movies you kind of got to watch if you're a film buff. And yeah, do you have any closing remarks?
I think we should power rank the Steven Spielberg movies that we have covered.
Absolutely.
Just as a reminder, we have covered AI, Close Encounters, Minority Report, Hook, and Jurassic Park, and Jurassic Park 2: The Lost World.
Yes.
So let's start at number 6. My number 6.
Lost World.
The Lost World, easily.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I would put Minority Report at number 5.
Yes.
At number 4, Hook.
Yes.
At number 3,
Close Encounters
of the Third Kind. Are we going to be unison? 2 would be Jurassic Park for me.
Whoa, hold
maybe
on,
maybe I'm being caught in the moment because I've watched AI so recently, and it was like a new thing to me.
Yeah.
But to me, just AI has more to say and more to feel than Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, I mean, obviously wonderful. These top 3 are classics.
I just think Jurassic Park is one of the greatest films ever made.
So that's where we diverge, I think.
I think that's like the number 1 spot, Jurassic Park. It's just, it's timeless.
Number 1 spot, Ludacris. Great song.
Okay.
I'm coming for your number 1 spot.
It wasn't a big
Luda!
Speaking of Luda, I just saw him in a commercial. He was actually here not too long ago.
He's at State Fair.
Yeah. With T-Pain. Anyways, yeah. That's our wrap-up of Spielberg summer.
We are organizing our October list.
Yes.
Well, we don't have it locked down yet, but we'll be doing Halloween movies once again.
I don't know if we're doing
Horror movies.
real spoopy Halloween films this time, though. I think we're doing stuff with Halloween vibes.
Yeah, we might be more. You were considering Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something with gothic vibes, but not horror, horror. But maybe we'll probably do a horror film.
Maybe we need a Tim Burton in there.
Yeah, that's why I was saying Tim Burton Batman or Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a great one.
No matter where we land on, it'll be seasonal. It'll be appropriate. It'll give you those pumpkin spice flavored vibes.
Yeah.
Oh, so I can feel the leaves skittering across the ground already.
Feel that crisp air on your nips.
It smells so good.
It does.
Look, it's candy corn.
I got those vibes last night outside. I was like, ooh, it's crispy.
It's a little nippy, but it's
getting
gonna be
crispy.
85 the rest of this week, so
well,
game over, man.
I'm also going to Hollywood this week.
Kaylin,
I'm going to see all the stars, buddy. I might just stay. You never know. I might get reeled in by Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, my gosh.
And then I might, stick around. You might
be a
see
big
me
star.
on the big screen. Probably not.
You're going to visit the Walk of Fame?
Yeah, and I'm going to see all the starlets and going to be starstruck. And I'm going to say you guys are all awful.
A sweaty man in a Spider-Man suit somewhere?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to go visit Grove Street as well. See CJ. Go get me some Cluck and Bell, you know.
Cluck and Bell was a great place to hole up during your shooting spree on GTA 4.
Yeah. Just go chill in Cluck and Bell, wait for the heat to die down a little bit, then go back outside.
Or no, you just pop out and there's 36
Remember when you could just kill everybody in that hospital?
Yeah.
I did that many a times.
As the graphics got better, or maybe I just got older because those would coincide, but it became harder to go on murder sprees.
Dude, in Red Dead, it's hard to kill. You'd be like, yo, this guy is pleading, begging for his life. Or you shoot somebody, they hold their neck and blood is splurting everywhere. It's oh, that's awful.
Yeah, I played Red Dead 2 as the best. I was trying to get Arthur to heaven,
Remember that, there's that random encounter where you're at the saloon and the woman comes downstairs and she's like, hey, I need your help. And then you follow her upstairs into the bedroom and there's a body on the floor. And then she's like, I need you to help me get rid of this body. And then you can choose whether to hog tie her and then bring her to the sheriff's. And then the next day she gets lynched publicly. I was like, there's too much work going on into this game. It's too realistic. So many choices.
Just like Westworld in there.
Yeah. Seriously. Anyways, yeah, until next time.
Peace.
What's up? Can a low come up in your crib?
Man, fuck you. I'll see you at work.
Oh, nigga, don't hate me because I'm beautiful, nigga. Maybe if you got rid of that old yee-yee ass haircut you get some bitches on your dick. Oh, better yet, maybe Tanisha will call your dog ass if she ever stop fucking with that brain surgeon, the lawyer she fucking with. Nigga.
What?